But even more importantly, after 14 years in the NFL, Johnson retired as the league's all-time leading punt returner. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler and was named Man of the Year with the Oilers and Falcons. His final season in the NFL was in 1988 with the Redskins. He is known as one of the first players to display elaborate celebrations in the end zone. He's a member of the 1970s and 1980s All-Decade Team. He joins us today on behalf of Pork Rind Appreciation Day and the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. Billy, thanks so much for joining us here on Unpacking It. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I am doing fantastic.
All right. Well, we're gearing up for the Super Bowl, and everybody's fired up about it. So what has you most intrigued about this year's matchup?
I'm interested to see how the Patriots offensive line hold up against the Rams defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be where the battle is, well, actually where the war is won, to be honest with you. I truly believe that it's going to be rather interesting, knowing the Patriots are going to develop some type of scheme to try to neutralize the defensive linemen of the Rams. In so doing, it's going to cause the secondary to really be on their P's and Q's.
No question about it. So on the other side with the New England Patriots and what they've been able to do just year after year, what aspect of their consistent success stands out to you the most?
Well, I just believe that they're winners. They always feel as though they're never completely out of the game until the game is over. And with that type of thinking, that type of mindset, guys will always rally to the point of knowing that they can make something happen. And it's a team effort, it's a team collaboration. So I think knowing that, that gives them that psychological edge.
We're talking with Billy White Shoes Johnson here on Unpacking It. And when you watch today's NFL, what elements of the game do you feel like have really improved and are great and you love where the game is at? And then what aspects of the game do you feel like maybe they've lost or you kind of missed the way that it was when you played back in the 70s and 80s?
Well, let's take the last first. I'd rather see them let the guys play and be spontaneous. Right now, if you look at a guy too hard, they're going to throw a flag on you. And, of course, the upside of it is that they're trying to protect guys, taking unnecessary hits or shots out of the game. And everybody's for that. But I think you got to let people who play this game play the game. It's a contact sport, so let it happen. What they're doing, trying to legislate incidents where guys can get hurt and they can be taken care of, I think that's fair. But overall, you can't change the game to make it better. Trying to take away special teams, return teams, and devising schemes of blocking guys, how they block on special teams. It's almost going to come down like it is in Pro Bowl. Everybody's going to play touch. That's what I don't like.
Well, yeah, especially since you really made your name as one of the great return men. What's it like just watching these guys not be able to have the opportunities to really make the big plays in the return game like we saw for so many years?
Well, everybody can't return. I mean, you can be a good running back, you can be a good receiver, you can be a good defensive back, but returning punts when it's kicked to you is something that you got to want to do, and it's got to be kind of a innate ability that you have. I think that's one of the most exciting parts of the game. Not that I had performed it, but you look at other guys around the league, Tyreek Hill and the little running back from Chicago and some of the other returners in the game. It's unbelievable what they do. So I think when you take that aspect away from the game, it's a little lackluster.
I love it. I'm bummed that we don't see it as often, especially with the kick returns like we did, and guys like you that really set the tone for that. And even just thinking back to what made you a great return man. And you mentioned it being an innate ability, but what does it take? What are the skills that are necessary?
Well, I think you got to want to do it. you've got to want to do it. You got to see that you have the advantage, and whenever you get the ball, what you do to a coverage team out there. So, in the process of not being able to run with the ball, but being able to know where you are on the field, having great field vision, it's a desire. It's just like a running back wanting the ball, or a receiver wanting the ball. That's why I say that. To me, that's all. I just want to get the ball. You know, you don't get so many times as a receiver and running back. So every opportunity you get to get the ball and to hopefully make something happen or change the field territory, you know, you want to do it. And it's fun. It's always been fun for me because I've always had guys who enjoyed going out there blocking and who got just as much out of the return game as I did.
That's right. And we're talking with Billy White Shoes Johnson, former Houston Oiler. And you mentioned having fun as a kick returner, and you're also known for the fun that you had in the end zone after scoring touchdowns and the funky chicken dance and all of that. When people bring that up to you, which I'm sure they do often, what do you like to share with people just about your perspective on having fun as a football player and being able to celebrate in the end zone and why you found that to be enjoyable and a part of just who you were as a player?
Well, it was a lot of fun. The guys liked it on the team and the fans. And the biggest thing was that you never tried to denigrate anybody or rub their nose in it. It was just something that you enjoyed doing. And I'm telling you, it was tough for a man my size getting to the end zone. So why not celebrate? Why not celebrate? But it was all done in fun, and we didn't try and rehearse. We didn't have any drama students or drama teachers on the team. So
that's funny. So when you see these guys that do have the thought out, prepared dances, is that too far? Have they taken it too far with some of these current players?
Well, some of it's cute, but some of it's a little over the top. Yeah. But I think if that's what gets their fan base excited, do it.
Yep.
Do it.
I'm with you. Sometimes I don't like the every first down celebration. I don't mind the touchdown celebration. What do you think of that?
Andy, that drives me. I mean, even backups come in there and they get a first. Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
I mean, something like that. That's what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to dance when you get in the end zone. So
there you go. I can get behind that. No, I'm with you. Billy White Shoes Johnson, our guest right now on Unpacking It, former NFL wide receiver and a returner, one of the best ever. And you're joining us today on behalf of Pork Rind Appreciation Day and the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. And people can check out porkrinds.com. But pork rinds, why do you love them and why do you want to tell people about them?
Well, here's the good thing about it. They have the good people at Rudolph Foods partnering up with the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. And leading up until the game, they'll be making a donation up to $15,000. So they know the struggles that some of the former greats, the pioneers of the game, how they struggle sometimes just to get all their medical assistance, their medicals taken care of. And so when I heard they were partnering up with that, I said, hey, it's a no-brainer. And plus, what better way to watch a pigskin game and having pigskins while you watch the game?
That's right.
And believe it or not, they're pretty nutritious. They're a little bit better than some of the other stuff on the market. A lot of stuff on the market as far as the nutritional content in it. So and knowing that, and here's another good thing I like about it also. Once you purchase some of the Southern Recipe pork rinds, you get a chance to play a game. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to purchase it, but every time you play a game, that individual can win up to $2,500, and along with some other good things that are being given away. Porskins backpack and all kind of T-shirts and things like that. But the bottom line is that it's such a good product, and they're such a good group of people over at Rudolph Foods to want to get on board with the Gridiron Great Assistance Fund. Why not join up with them? And it goes up until the great day of the game.
Very cool. Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Check out porkrinds.com and supporting Gridiron Greats and gridirongreats.org. we love talking faith, and so just want to hear a little bit about your faith journey, and at this point in your life, as you look back, what are some of the key moments in your life that God has really revealed himself, and some of the key moments that have really defined your life and established your faith?
One of the things is that to play in a game of giants, that was I was fortunate to do that, and it made it a lot easier for me knowing that I can't do it alone, and I know where my talent came from. It's like I look to the hills from whence cometh my help, and that's what it was for me, knowing that God was in control. Once again, showing himself again when I had 3 injuries, and one really severely handicapped me. They thought I would never play again. They kept it close to vest, but they didn't think that I would ever come back and play on the level that I did, which I was able to. But it was by the grace of God that I was able to come back and continue my career. And knowing that, you don't get caught up in a lot of stuff in the periphery. You know your sense of being, and you realize that this is part of what you do, part of who you are, but it's not the defining person. It's not the defining element of who you are as a person. You're much more than an athlete.
That's strong. So as you just kind of think about ways that you've grown and ways that God has really just worked in you, what are some of the lessons learned and things that you think back and say, man, I'm so thankful that God delivered me from that, changed me in that way? What comes to mind?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that I find over the years is that you learn to not to react right away. You got to be slow to speak sometimes and not be impetuous, which we all do at times. And the biggest thing is being able to listen and to hear. For me, I've been fortunate to get involved with Bible Study Fellowship, BSF International.
Yeah.
It's all over the world. I've been involved with that for so many years. I wish I had that when I was playing, but I find that looking back on my career, it's all by the grace of God that I was in every spot. And hopefully I was able to share with others, and they could see Christ in me and some of the things that I did. Now, I still made some blunders, but knowing that he was with me and my countenance, and that's is where you be able to turn lives. How you emulate who you are in Christ sometimes out there when nobody's watching you, and you're just trying to do the right thing. And that, to me, I look back over that, and boy, am I blessed of knowing people who have always been there for me and gone with a team that had a lot of good Christian guys on it, some solid brothers in the Word. It makes a difference. It keeps you well grounded to who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And so is there anything in particular that you've been learning lately, or what comes to mind as kind of the thing you've been studying most recently?
We studied the people of the Promised Land, of how hard they are sometimes.
Yep.
And how David and David and all his goodness, how he showed the human side of him, but yet the humility of David when it came to taking the throne from Saul, he never forced the issue. He truly listened to God and to take it in its due time. And yet he still had failings, but he always came back and repented, and he wanted to repent. So that's what I learned a lot. We're going to stumble, bumble, fall, but turn it over to God, repent, and move forward. Don't let it hold you captive. So that's what, I'm learning from this thing. But above all is to be slow to speak and slow to anger, which he was in just about every situation he had when Saul tried to confront him.
Wow. No, good stuff. Billy White Shoes Johnson with us here on Unpacking It. And Billy, man, appreciate you sharing all that and love just kind of hearing what God's doing in your life. And as we wrap things up, we've got to hear your Super Bowl prediction. So everybody's giving it and, got to pick a side. So what do you think, Patriots and Rams?
Oh, Oh, I pick no bones because of two of the guys who coached with the Rams. I knew Wade Phillips. We got a good long history, and Billy Johnson, his defensive line coach. We got a good friendship, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay.
And not only that, but I think they have the edge when it comes to the game itself with those big, agile men up front.
That's right. Well, speaking of Wade Phillips, real quickly, to me, it's such a unique dynamic that here he is, an older veteran coach, has been around forever, has been a head coach in the past, and here he is kind of under the leadership of a young head coach in Sean McVay. What do you think of that interesting relationship and the way that they have that set up?
I'm going to tell you something. If Sean McVay was not a personable guy and didn't have a knack to be able to have the insight of how to treat people, then I don't think Wade would have gone there. But I think that says a lot for Sean, that he's able to talk to people, knows how to talk to people at a young age. I think, young coaches always somehow feel as though they have to come in and show who's in charge. And I think it's great for him to know that he can look to Wade, who's been a head coach before, been around the game much longer than he was born. I mean, much longer than he's been on earth here.
That's right.
But I think it's a great mix. So I think that's why they have success. He's a great communicator.
No, it makes sense, and it's just a cool setup, and they've had instant success, which is very impressive to already get to the Super Bowl this quickly. So, Billy, man, great to hear from you. Really appreciate you joining us here on Unpacking It. And again, he's joining us on behalf of Pork Rind Appreciation Day, porkrinds.com. And also just to be able to support the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund, and that can be found at gridirongreats.org. Billy, really appreciate it, and enjoy the Super Bowl.
Well, thank you. Tell those people to play that game. And every time they play, they get a chance to go into the pot to win $2,500. And it helps for the donations for the Gridiron Great Assistance Fund.
Perfect.
Okay?
Perfect.
Thank you so much.